The director tried to turn The Big Chill into a comedy, but Scarlett Johansson's Rough Night proved it's tough to chill when the laughs fall flat. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Scarlett Johansson has left no stone unturned when it comes to impressing her audience. From Black Widow to Lucy, she has a number of iconic characters under her belt, which she brought to life with utmost perfection. However, she's only human and sometimes she's going to mess up. The 2017 comedy Rough Night is a good example of this. Directed by Lucia Aniello, the film tells the story of a harmless bachelorette party gone wrong. Not only did the film flop at the box office, but it also received negative feedback from fans and critics alike. While the story might remind you of other popular films in Hollywood, Lucia Aniello once revealed that her inspiration was a more serious film that inspired her to create Rough Night. Unfortunately, she aimed a bit too high with this one. If you look at Scarlett Johansson's portfolio, you'll realize that 2017 simply wasn't her year. She starred in two back-to-back flops that left the audience baffled, and not in a good way. Johansson first starred in the science fiction action Ghost in the Shell as a cyborg super soldier, the Major. Despite making $167 million at the box office, the film ended up being deemed a box office flop thanks to its $110 million budget via the numbers. Then came Rough Night. The R-rated comedy follows the story of a group of college friends reuniting for the bachelorette party of Johansson's character, Jess. After a decade of being apart, they have a really good time until they don't. The group hires a male stripper, as one does. But when Jillian Bell's Alice jumps on him and knocks him to the ground, killing him, things take a rather dark turn. While the story itself seems interesting enough, the final product only disappointed the viewers. At the box office, it flopped with only $46.8 million to its name against a budget of $20 million via the numbers. The critics on Rotten Tomatoes were kind enough to award the film a score of 45%, but fans couldn't find it in themselves to give it a decent score, and the film ended up getting a 29% on the popcorn meter. Needless to say, 2017 was a rough year for Johansson. Director Lucia Aniello sat down with Vanity Fair to discuss the inspiration behind her film. She stated that a ton of comparisons were made between Rough Night and other popular comedies when she pitched the script. These include The Hangover, Bridesmaids, Weekend at Bernie's, and more. However, the film that actually inspired Aniello was the 1983 comedy drama, The Big Chill. It follows the story of a group of old friends who attended the University of Michigan together. They reunite 15 years later when one of them, Alex, dies by S***side. So, how did this inspire Aniello? Hear it from her? This is going to sound obnoxious, but we thought of it as a comedic version of The Big Chill because there's so much more dynamic character revelations and experiences. She basically decided to take the film and turn it into a full-blown comedy. But clearly, it didn't work in her favor. As for The Big Chill, the film was a major hit in 1983 and was later adapted into a television series, Hometown. It also inspired 30-something and A Million Creature Commandos introduced audiences to G.I. Robot, the Nazi-killing death machine created by the Allies to help them in the Second World War. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. However, with the character kicking it in only the third episode, has caused a lot of fans to be upset about his departure so early from the show. G.I. Robot, through his years of being passed around from laboratory to laboratory, came in the possession of one Will Magnus, who is one of the brilliant minds that exist in the world of DC. During his scene with G.I. Robot, Will revealed that he had some plans to update the Nazi killer, going on to reveal his plans for more advanced automatons, based on G.I. Robot. Will Magnus of the DCU, a brilliant scientist with a mind for robotics and artificial intelligence, might be the key to bringing back the G.I. Robot, despite being active in the 60s of this continuity. The character is responsible for a ton of creations in the DC universe, creating Robot Man of the Doom Patrol and the Metal Men, a team of robots that have particular metals as their gimmicks. In the comics, Will Magnus finds himself with a robotic body as well, operating under the name Viridium after one of his metal men, Gold, is killed. Viridium then goes on to lead the Metal Men. Given that it seemed that Will Magnus and Will Magnus have developed some sort of friendship, it would be great to see Viridium, whose design might be based on GI Robot, come to his rescue, reassembling him with a slew of upgrades, as Will Magnus did the first time around. GI Robot has managed to be a very important character in Creature Commandos, and his passing has left quite a mark on the series as a whole. However, Viridium, with some help from Nina, could bring in a new and improved GI Robot to fight the good fight, either in Creature Commandos or in the future of the DCU. Disney's acquisition of Fox made Scarlett Johansson fear for her film with Taika Waititi. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Scarlett Johansson has worked with Disney for years, starring as Natasha Romanoff/Black Widow in their MCU movies. However, when it came to the 2019 film Jojo Rabbit, Johansson didn't believe that the studio would allow for the subversive film to be released under its banner. Johansson, who played Rosie Betzler in the Taika Waititi film, was surprised that Disney execs were excited about the film. Waititi made the film under Fox Searchlight, who came under Disney after its 2019 acquisition of Fox. The Black Widow actress had concerns about the film coming under Disney, since Jojo Rabbit did not conform to the family-friendly brand of the studio. Scarlett Johansson played the role of Rosie Betzler in Jojo Rabbit, a single mother in Nazi Germany who hides a Jewish girl in her attic. Johansson shared with The Hollywood Reporter in a 2019 interview that she played a warm, comfy character in the film. Don Draper was totally an inspiration. Scarlett Johansson played a huge gamble for Fly Me to the Moon with neophyte Rose Gilroy after her family's writing DNA sprung to action. Don Draper was totally an inspiration. Scarlett Johansson played a huge gamble for Fly Me to the Moon with neophyte Rose Gilroy after her family's writing DNA sprung to action. Both Johansson and Taika Waititi had a great relationship with the studio at that time. The Marriage Story actress was a constant presence in Marvel films, and Waititi had given them the most successful Thor film, Thor: Ragnarok, at that point. Despite the working relationship, Johansson was almost sure that Disney would never bring out Jojo Rabbit. After the acquisition, she had a dinner meeting with Disney board members along with her Avengers co-stars. She shared with THR that the execs told her at the dinner that they were excited about her new film. Johansson wondered how that was possible since the more off-color or subversive nature of her film didn't fit in with the Disney family. Johansson shared with THR. The Disney execs were saying, "We're excited about JoJo. They had just acquired it." I said, "How is that going to be?" Because Searchlight's made quite a lot of subversive films. It's harder and harder to try to find a home for something that's more off-color or subversive and push the limit. I thought, there's no way Disney would bring Jojo Rabbit out. This doesn't belong to that Disney family. Jojo Rabbit was produced under Fox Searchlight, which had previously produced Oscar-winning films like The Shape of Water,